don't know what about that. So we're just going to start off with some introductions.
All right.
All right.
Just say your name,
Favorite color.
what grade you're in, and your favorite.
What school you go to? And what school you go to?
All right. So we'll say our name, our favorite cereal, and our grade.
Favorite card set.
Oh no.
So I'm Preston Petticord. I'm a sophomore, and my favorite cereal is probably Cheerios.
So sorry, please go back to your name.
Preston Petticord.
Okay, proceed.
My name's Aaron Kopel. I'm in 10th grade and I like Cocoa Puffs.
A model. I don't need cereal. What was the other one?
Great.
I'm a sophomore.
I'm Baron, probably Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Max, I'm a sophomore and I don't like cereal.
Oh, you're wrong.
Oh yeah, I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm John, I'm a sophomore, and I like Captain Crunch.
All right, Brian.
I'm Nick Irwin, I'm a sophomore, and I like peanut Cheerios.
I'm Alec Morris, I'm a sophomore, and I guess I like Fruit Loops.
I'm Adriani. I'm a sophomore, and I like Rice Krispies.
I'm Sean Reddick. I'm a sophomore, and I like life.
My name's Will Gavin. I'm a sophomore, and I like Captain Crunch.
I'm Ross College, I'm a sophomore, and I like Frosted Flakes.
I'm DT Dupendra, I'm a sophomore, and I like Honey Nut Cheerios.
I'm Kate Snyder, I'm a sophomore, and I like Mini Wheats.
I'm Georgia Konovich, I'm a junior, and I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'm Caroline Ludwig. I'm a junior, and I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'm Nicole Hobson, I'm a junior, and I like Mini Cheerios.
I'm Jimmy Lee. I'm a sophomore, and Fruity Pebbles is where it's at.
I'm Jesse Ballmer. I'm a sophomore, and I like Fruit Loops.
I'm Brooke Willis, I'm a junior, and my favorite cereal is Lucky Charms.
I'm Erin Maverty, I'm a sophomore, and I like Fruity Pebbles.
I'm Brandon Liu, I'm a sophomore, and I love Honey Nut Cheerios.
I'm Brian Taw, I'm a sophomore, and Brandon, I don't think we'd be friends because you love Honey Nut Cheerios.
Ouch. Oh.
So two just walked in. Just say your name, grade, and favorite cereal.
My name's Katie, I'm a junior, and I don't know, probably like Fruity Pebbles.
I'm Hannah, sophomore, Raisin Bran.
Yes. Okay.
So now we'll get to the presentation.
All right.
This will just kind of be what the club's about and
Yeah.
what it's going to be like. That's really the focus
Yeah.
of the day.
We'll go through the PowerPoint, and that's what we're gonna do. So, first off,
Here's our logo.
there's that.
Everyone like our logo?
Beautiful.
Okay. All right. So, what is JHS Open Source?
So we're basically going to be sort of a project-based club. We want you guys to learn by doing, in a way. That's our biggest focus, is for you guys to learn, and kind of, we want to bridge the gap between learning electronics, and just kind of that.
And then like applying knowledge, and like putting it towards projects,
Exactly.
essentially.
One of the hardest things about electronics, at our age at least, is there's not a ton of resources where you can learn them. There's a lot online, but many of them have the complete backwards wrong information on there. So we intend to teach you guys the right information the first time, so you don't have to relearn it 30 times.
Okay.
So the club's also going to build upon itself. That's what that progressive note means up there. So that we'll get to that a little bit later in the
And
PowerPoint.
so like, yeah. And then there's going to be deadlines to meet, because we're not going to be a really intensive club. We're not going to have restrictions and lots of rules. We'll just give you deadlines, and these are the deadlines you'll have to meet, and this will like build towards the project and your learning.
The thing is, like when we get the project, the only unfortunate thing about getting projects from other people is we have expectations from them. So if someone's building a building and we have to get something put into there or something like that, there's gonna be a deadline to when it has to be put in. That's really the only hard thing that we have to follow.
And so before we move on, if you guys have any big project ideas, and this could be like of any size or scale, come up with them and we'll talk about them at the end of this presentation. So what will we be doing?
So biggest thing, the projects, we will divide you guys up, or you'll divide yourselves, sorry, into smaller groups. There's gonna be software designers, hardware designers, and then visual designers. The software designers will work more on programming and code. The hardware designers will work on the actual
building.
Yeah, building of the circuitry, stuff like that.
And then
So
building.
if anyone's ever broken a phone before, they'll be working on kind of what's inside that. But not nearly as complicated.
And then visual design is the pretty stuff.
Yeah.
And making things look pretty.
Kind of like if anyone's ever 3D printed anything, they'll be 3D printing cases, designing them, things like that.
And yeah, so that's pretty much what the project's gonna be. There will be me and Aaron, our project managers, will organize the projects, and from like your guys' learning and what you guys are supposed to be doing, we'll put this project together and come back as a group, and then this will lead towards the big project at the end. Okay, so
This is the schedule that we're planning on having before spring break. So after we come up with our project ideas, you guys, a lot of you probably don't know a ton about electronics, and that's okay. That's what we're assuming. So we're gonna have these learn sessions where we're gonna come up with the idea today, or we're gonna come up with a few ideas today. Me, Jimmy, Aaron, Michael, and Jesse will go through them, figure out costs, things like that, present that to you guys on the next session. And
or
then,
through email if you can't make it.
Yeah, or through email, and then we'll vote upon one, and that'll be the one we do. And our plan will be to teach you guys, while we're finding funding for that project, we're gonna teach you guys the necessary skills for that project. Does that make sense?
And this project, it's gonna be possibly helping the community, helping the school, possibly something to help in nursing home. So.
And then eventually these learn sessions will transition into work days, which will probably begin March 3rd. We'll begin prototyping, basis of the coding. Visual designers that's kind of harder to learn. So I don't know when that exactly will start. It'll all be based on kind of different things. Make sure, our meetings will always be here. Everyone will always meet up in this room, 107, Miss Randhall's room. And these dates are subject to change, so just make sure you're actively watching your email. You get one, just let me know if you can't make any of the sessions. We'll record everything for you guys, so if you miss one, ask a friend, go on to, we'll have a YouTube, JHS Open Source, that's our YouTube channel, so just go there if you miss a learn session or something like that.
And so expectations, again, we're not a strict club. We don't expect everything from you, but we do, again, like arrive on time. We'll have deadlines, and then if you need to catch up on anything, we'll like just email us and we'll be there to help. And then moving on to donations. Also our club, like we don't have a set funding, but we'll provide as much as we can. And so if you have donations that you want to make for your project or whatever you're working on, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it's not required at all. Just if you guys have anything to give, maybe do so.
Group managers, these are who's going to be like in charge and looking over these like sectors, I would say.
So these will be like your, I don't want to say teachers, but they'll
No,
be
like,
your teachers per se.
Well, like
for
authorizers
yeah,
would
for
be the
like
better word.
the learning sessions and the projects and stuff. So if you need help and you're in one of these, project managers, this is just a note, not actually a group. If you guys want to project manage, you can talk to us and I'm sure we can organize something for you.
Yeah.
But it's not the most fun thing to do.
And also, like at the end, don't see us as teachers because we won't know everything. We're just there because we want people to learn and work towards these projects.
We're all equals here. Just set that right now. We're all equals.
Yeah.
Because there will be a point where we reach something that me, Jimmy, Aaron, Jesse, and Michael don't know, and we'll be learning alongside you guys. So
Okay, so before we get on to like ideas for projects, do you guys have any questions or any confusion about the club?
Does everyone have a pretty clear idea of what's going to be going on? Yeah.
All right, Gucci.
All right, awesome. Okay, so does anyone, I mean, any idea for like a project? Just throw it out right now.
We should do that later. We should
Later?
write it down on the board.
Okay.
Projects down on the board.
Yeah.
Ideas. I mean, do we want to do that right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, any idea you have, make sure, we want to make sure it incorporates software, hardware, and visual design. But if
And
it's,
we'll be lenient on the ideas. If you have anything crazy you want to make.
I mean, if it sounds impossible, it's possible.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
of
yeah.
course. So one of the ideas we were presented with while we were making the club was sort of a revolutionary way of doing attendance at the new high school. So at the new high school, we would put a system into each room that would be able to tell what students were there, when, if they were on time, if they were late.
I was suggested by the principal, by the way.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually.
We also have a school gym sound reactive light system, which
Yeah.
Preston probably knows more about.
So we would, I mean, essentially it'd just be lights that would react to the music or the noise coming from the gym. Just line the gym with the lights. That'd be kind of cool.
Or we could also work on a phone case, which this is a bit harder. A phone case that's powers your phone based on thermal energy that comes from your own self. Like visual design would be working on the actual phone case, and hardware and software design.
And like other crazy ideas we've had, we wanted to make light boards that people could have at football games, and these light boards could like contribute to different images at football games. We could do this at basketball games as well. We've also thought about toys that would stimulate like senses for like disabled kids or children or any like particular group of people. What else?
Another idea we were kind of presented with was an energy efficient school. What you guys probably don't realize is there's actually a lot of energy being wasted on a daily basis. We all expel heat, and that heat can be transformed into electrical energy, which can then be used to power the school. The lights, you can put solar panels lining the lights, which essentially recycles some of the light energy and can be used again to power the school. The air conditioning, if you put a generator on the outside of each one of those vents, you can constantly generate electricity, like kind of like a windmill type of thing, just out there, and you would still get the same effect. It's just kind of saving and recycling some of that same energy.
Yeah. So these are all like crazy projects. So do you guys have any ideas of your own?
So we're looking to do something that's like actually beneficial or just something.
It can
Anything.
either way.
Absolutely.
Beneficial or crazy. See, like he's more of the beneficial person. I'm more of the crazy. We have a good balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the school light thing, that helps absolutely nobody, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything?
I'm gonna throw mine out there.
Throw one out there, we'll Gavin.
Okay. It's a foam glove. It's been in every sci-fi movie like ever. You got that like speaker up on the thumb. You got a microphone up on the pinky. You got buttons on the thing, and then like a Bluetooth thing your smartphone on the back.
So phone glove.
Phone
glove. All right.
I mean, you gotta start the process. I mean, you gotta go.
Anything else?
Wireless earbuds.
Wireless earbuds.
Ooh, what a good one. What a good one. Oh, I lose them.
Can everyone read this too? when I'm
Yeah.
writing?
A smart telescope.
Smart telescope.
Describe what you mean by that.
So basically,
A telescope.
you map out like the night sky with coordinates, and it'd be able to track onto different stars or moons or planets, and it would follow them throughout the night as the Earth orbits.
It's actually like shoes that play music based on how like your tempo of your footsteps.
Ooh.
Those are good. Yes. Would you be able to like put a CD in your shoes?
Oh.
That's too old. That's too old.
Alec, you have an idea?
It's kind of stupid. Motorized Heelys.
It's nothing
Motorized
stupid.
Heelys.
I said phone glove.
Okay.
Motorized feelings.
Will Captain, put them to use.
That would
Dude, who wouldn't? That'd be sick.
Anything else?
I got one. LED beanbag chair.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what that is. Would it just be like a glowing beanbag chair?
Yeah.
I could see some shoes.
You gotta remote control lights for your car.
So, like,
I mean, we'd have to have a car, right?
That might help.
what do you want me to call those? Call that.
It's called an
LEDs under your car.
I don't know. Those are already in there.
I know, I don't know.
I'll light up car.
You can just press this on your phone. Yeah, you can make an app.
And music. The links to the music in your car.
So underglows link to music?
Yeah, link to music.
I like that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That'll be sweet. Wait.
Do you care if I modify it?
Change
No.
the music shoes to the.
Yeah, say it. It is.
Sean.
We should have
Sean.
shoe underglows too.
Underglows for shoes?
Yeah.
I like that. Underglows.
Yes.
What is like?
DOT approved. DOT approved. Like flashing lights.
Give kids Caesars as you
Yeah.
go.
My brother in college is a friend with me.
Yeah, I know. It's
Car,
kind of like.
the Night Rider car. It's like all the LEDs and it's. You've seen the Night Rider car, right?
No, I don't.
You haven't? Oh, it's like an old TV show.
You know when you have your phone and like anything like proof or anything like that is extremely like this. It's just really clunky.
Yeah.
Something that's almost a thinner layer of that, so it only reacts and comes out when the volume of the device is like rocking. So something that can pick up that it's losing battery almost to the point like that. It's faulty.
So kind of like an airbag almost for a phone?
Yeah. Almost.
Oh.
Oh.
What do you want me to call that?
Phone airbag.
Phone airbag?
Phone airbag.
Phone airbag. That's
Put it down.
Don't
Don't
Hey, it could be like an adjustable.
Is there anything else? Any other ideas?
It's like a sweatband you put on.
goes
to
to
preset
slowly.
it.
Alright, what do you guys
It's really dumb.
Just say it. No idea is dumb.
Self-cutting hair. No, you don't say self-cutting. What is it supposed to? What's self-cutting hair even mean? That's a stupid idea. You should write it.
Explain it. Explain it. Explain it.
You can have like something you put on your head, and when your hair got to a certain length, it just cut it off.
I feel like that's dangerous. There's some safety hazards there. That's your ear off.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you bug.
Yeah, you can have like almost like a little helmet.
The thing that Alex is wearing once he takes it off is bald.
Yeah. You do the scarf last.
Any other ideas? Anything. Absolutely anything.
Take a pair of Jordans and try to like make them into light up Skechers or something.
Downgraded Jordans.
Light up Jordans.
It might help, but just do a whole outfit that matches your music playing. Just like head to toe, just going changing colors.
I mean,
Last is
like you can put laser lights on. Yeah, on the last.
You got like the like, diamond things on the edge.
I like that.
You're a me, I didn't hear it.
Vital monitor for clothing. So like a monitor's helmet that has a light, but it's a projector.
Okay.
Whoa.
Did everyone,
Oh, yo.
did everyone hear what Nick said?
No.
Okay.
Alright, I said like an RFID chip in clothing that can monitor your vitals and sends information to a qualified individual if they're low. And
People know, do you guys know what an RFID is? No?
radio frequency identification, it's just a chip that can send out information.
Yeah, of course.
Did everybody hear that?
Yeah.
Yanni, that's correct.
What? Okay, so an RFID, radio frequency identification, it's basically a chip that can just send out information to other people.
It's what they put in your pets if you want to.
Yeah, you can use it like as a credit card in some places, and you can use it like to open like your car doors in some places like things.
Exactly.
I heard Sean,
Sean.
it's like a miner's helmet that has a light, but it's a projector.
Oh, I think that's what it is. So it's like,
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like
so it's like a
Bob
baseball helmet, but like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
No, a miner's hat.
Well, yeah, they do.
It's like switch it out with projector. Like get it with GoPro. Yeah. Question.
Jimmy.
Ideas I've had. I've wanted to revamp our school website. Well, I'll make it better and I'll find.
We'll make it better. We're doing that right now with
Really?
the auction.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we'll make websites.
We'll do it.
Make it better.
Yeah.
Open source for the week.
Oh yeah, so you guys know like the thing where like pretty much you're writing notes or like you start a paper and they make you do it on paper, like to have something that pretty much could read the points of the like marks that you're making on the paper and be able to transfer that to something so you don't have to retype it up. So like,
Oh,
so
my
something like
goodness.
Oh, a scanner, like a scanner.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. Could you explain it again?
So like, see all this stuff up here, instead of like having to like retype it up or something like that, you have something that goes over and almost like scans it on there.
There's an app.
Oh, so like it's scanned.
Yeah, it's like for you.
Okay, yeah.
Same like that.
What is it?
What would you like me to call that?
Yeah, it's like handwriting into text.
Okay.
It works for my car.
Huh?
Shirley, have a good night. Make good choices.
Hi, Shelly. Hi, Shelly.
I always use stereotype as a class.
Is he coming in here?
Any other ideas?
Jamie?
All right.
Oh, I
Others.
do.
Anything else?
We could do the exact opposite with handwriting text. We could do something where it recognizes your handwriting and good notes.
I feel like that's an idea for some like illegal action.
For illegal activity.
Alright.
Have you guys ever seen an LED cube? You guys know what an LED cube is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the
So
fire.
we could make like a really big one of those and do like 3D imaging with it. Does that make sense?
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like holographic.
Okay, so I think we have quite a list.
Anything
Do we have
else?
any last ideas? Yeah.
Do you have one?
I think before we end, we should define open source just so people like get an idea of what open source really means.
Okay, so, I mean, open source, it basically applies to everything, I guess, all electronics. I mean,
And-
essentially what it means is, you know how Samsung and Apple claim that they're open source companies? It means that they share their source code, what they use to develop their phones, and their schematics, which is what they use to show how they built their hardware inside of the phone on it. So it's basically, we'll be sharing this information with everybody else.
So
as
yeah,
we're doing it.
it's open ideas. We're an open group. We share our knowledge. We
Yanni-
share what we have.
Yanni over here had an idea and he thinks it's too stupid. What is it?
Nothing stupid.
Self-rolling sleeves.
Something.
Yeah, you get to a certain temperature, they roll themselves up.
Yeah, I could like see like that.
He said when it gets to a certain temperature, they'll roll up and then they'll roll down.
Might tell us the one.
Anything else? Anything else?
All right. So what we're gonna do now? We're gonna go through these these ideas, and we'll come up with a small list, and we'll send emails out regarding what happens next, because we're gonna need to do some planning on our own first. And then once the schedule comes out, we'll let you know, see if you guys are still interested, and we'll start to separate you guys into different sectors. And from that, we'll start learning how to make these projects, and we'll actually make them.
Did everybody get the email with me, Jimmy, and the Johnston High School open source email?
From Markman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys could all email the Johnston High School open source one and say what, the order of the three sections that you would like to be in. Does that make sense? So
So this could be a new email or reply to the original.
No, just
A new
email. Yeah, you can email me and Preston individually, or the actual JHS Open Source email itself.
By the way, before we move on, if you have any other ideas that kind of spontaneously come to you, you can email Jimmy, Preston, or I, or the open source email, just so we have a list of ideas people come up with.
So are there any questions about just anything that you guys have right now? Okay, so before we leave, if we're not following you on Twitter, or you're not following us on Twitter, go follow us at Johnston High School Open Source. If you guys have any friends also that missed tonight, tell them to go onto our YouTube. I'll be tweeting it out. I'll email it to all you guys, because I think we had an email list going around, didn't we?
We do.
Yeah. Did everybody get their email on that, by the way?
It's just
It's just full names.
Oh, okay.
We'll just hit the dragons.
And I'll try and email it to all you guys. And if you guys don't happen to have a Twitter, our YouTube channel is literally our name, Johnston High School Open Source. There we go. So that's our YouTube. You can go there. We'll be videotaping every learn session and all of our work sessions. So if you guys ever miss a session, just go here and you can watch it.
Or you can always email us. If you had friends that missed out on this meeting, just tell them to email us and we'll fill them in.
So that's
All right.
it.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Oh, before you leave, our next session will be next Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
We'll email you before that.
We'll email you a reminder. Here's the ideas list for future reference. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.